All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to put you directly into the shoes of the communications leader, or ComL, for your upcoming beacon exercise. You know, when disaster strikes and traditional infrastructure completely fails, an emergency response literally lives and dies by its ability to communicate. So we are breaking down your specific job aid right now. That way, when you step into that high-pressure beacon environment, you're going to know exactly what's expected of you, how you fit into the bigger picture, and how to execute flawlessly. Let's get into it. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the ComL role overview, then move into your core duties and responsibilities, followed by activation and required forms. Finally, we'll wrap up with a quick ComL knowledge check and the quiz answer key to make sure you're totally prepared.
Okay, Section 1, the ComL model overview.
As the ComL, your absolute core identity is the strategic manager of wireless communications. Notice the emphasis there on managing and wireless. Your number one objective is making sure the incident response team stays connected. You aren't just a participant here. You are literally the architect of the communication web. You're the one allowing operations, planning, and logistics to actually function when normal systems like the internet or regular cell networks are compromised or just completely offline.
Now, a really common pitfall in high-stress environments is role confusion. So let's clear that up. As the ComL, you're the planner. You figure out what needs to be done. You then delegate the actual physical wrench turning, the installation of the equipment, to your communications technicians, the ComT. Meanwhile, the Incident Communications Center Manager, or INCM, is going to handle the central hub's administrative paperwork and supervise the radio operators. Honestly, knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing your own duties.
It's really hopeful to see exactly where you sit within the incident command system. If you look at the structure, you are under the logistics section, specifically within the service branch, and you report directly to the communication/IT coordinator. And notice who's below you. You oversee the ComT, the in-house and potentially the Auxiliary Communications Manager, the ACM. You are an absolutely crucial middle management node. Your job is to translate the broad incident action plan into a tangible, working communications network.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Core Duties and Responsibilities. So what are you actually doing out there? We are definitely not just handing out radios from a cache. You are actively developing the incident's entire communications strategy. This means writing the plans that dictate exactly who talks on what frequency. You're coordinating the deployment of all sorts of resources, from your basic handheld radios to advanced satellite phones. You oversee the big picture setup, think radio towers and crossband repeaters. And naturally, when things inevitably go wrong, you are the highest level of technical support, troubleshooting those complex field issues to keep the whole operation running smoothly.
Which brings us to Section 3, Activation and Required Forms.
When you get the call, these are your strict chronological activation steps. Step 1. Check in at your assigned location. Maybe that's an EOC, a mobile unit, or a field command post. Step 2. Jump in and assist with the physical setup if it isn't done yet. Step 3. Verify your workstation is 100% ready. Are the laptops powered, radios tuned, phones connected? Step 4. Throw on your vest and read your job aid. And finally, Step 5. Get your full situation and position briefing so you have total situational awareness before you start making any big decisions.
I really want to emphasize Step 4 for a second. Putting on your identification vest and rereading your job aid might sound kind of basic, but it's a game changer. It instantly establishes your authority. In a chaotic, noisy room, people need to know at a glance exactly who is in charge of comms. That vest makes you visible. Plus, reading your job aid centers your mind on the specific parameters of your role, which totally prevents scope creep.
Okay, we got to talk about paperwork because emergency management runs on forms. As the ComL, you absolutely must master these. The ICS 211 is how you officially check in. Then there's the ICS 214. This is your activity log, basically your personal diary of the incident, where you log your actions and decisions. The ICS 205 is the Incident Radio Communications Plan. This is your masterpiece. It dictates the radio frequencies for the entire response. And finally, the ICS 205A is your Master Communications List. Remember, in emergency management, if it isn't documented on these forms, it didn't happen.
Seriously, keep your clipboard handy at all times. Maintaining concise, accurate records is just as vital as keeping those radio towers operational. Later on, during a hot wash or an after-action review, those ICS 214 activity logs are exactly what evaluators are going to rely on to understand the timeline of your decisions. Your administrative diligence protects you, it protects your team, and it protects the integrity of the whole response.
All right, let's switch gears to Section 4, the ComL knowledge check.
Time to see what stuck.
Question 1. Think back to that organizational chart we looked at. According to your job aid, who does the ComL primarily report to? Is it A, the incident commander, B, the logistics communications/IT coordinator, C, the radio operator, or D, the auxiliary communications manager? Go ahead and lock in your answer.
Okay, question 2. Remember those specific form numbers we just discussed? Which essential ICS form acts as your personal activity log, that chronological diary of your actions? Is it A, the 211, B, the 205, C, the 214, or D, the 309?
And question 3. What's the primary functional difference between your role as the ComLEO and the role of a ComT? Does the ComT plan while you operate radios? Do you manage the center while they do paperwork? Does the ComLEO plan infrastructure while the ComT physically installs equipment? Or is there no difference at all? Make your choice.
Let's move to Section 5 and look at the quiz answer key. Okay, let's see how you did. For question 1, the correct answer is B. You report directly to the communications/IT coordinator within the logistics section. For question 2, it's C. The ICS 214 is your required activity log for all those concise records. And for question 3, the answer is C again. The ComLA plans the big picture strategy while the ComT physically installs the equipment. Mastering those boundaries is going to be the absolute key to your success out there. I want to leave you with this core mandate pulled straight from your job aid. Develop and implement communication plans and strategies to ensure effective communication among all levels of the incident response team. As you prepare to step into the ComLAW role for the beacon exercise, ask yourself, when the infrastructure goes quiet and the pressure is at its absolute peak, are you ready to be that critical link? Take this knowledge, apply it to your exercise, and lead with confidence. You've got this.